Hi guys, and welcome back to the vlog. I know it was supposed to be out on Thursday and it's now Saturday, but I had a new arrival, if you follow me on Instagram, who took a little bit of settling in to do and involved taking some tanks apart and rebuilding. So I got really busy on Thursday and then worked Friday. So here we are. Today's video we are going to look at my 3 ball pythons, also known as royal pythons over in the UK. I have 1 male, 2 females. Each one of them have completely different personalities. Obviously their setups are very similar because they're all from the same place, but they have slightly different needs because their personalities are slightly different. So we're going to go through each one individually, go through their personalities, how I got them, all the rest of it, and then we'll go through basic setups, and then I'm also going to go through some mistakes that I've made keeping pythons over the last 4 years, so that hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes and don't have to make them. And I'm also going to try today and film partially with my new camera, which I haven't done before, or take photos on it, so this could be interesting, so you may have to bear with me in this vlog, guys, because we're trying some new things. But yes, we're going to start with Mon, show you his setup, talk a little bit about him, and then we'll move on to Maddie. So, we got the Monty moo. There he is. Morning, baby. How are you? We're going to talk about your tank, and then I'll get you, okay? Yeah, good boy. Right, so Monty moo's setup. Here it is. Oh, you can't really see because of the reflection on the glass. Here we go. So this is Monte's hot side. I know a lot of people don't agree with putting lights on ball pythons, but Monty actually seems to do a lot better with one than without. Don't know why, because my other girls do better without a light, but Monty seems to be a lot more active. He's eating better. He's shedding better with the light on, so we're going with it for now. He's got a couple of rocks in here because Monty likes to lean his head out of his hide, so that one's usually there because that's his headrest. He moves everything in this tank around, it does my nut in. So we've got plants over here. So this hide, obviously he can hide in it. The plants behind means Mont will now sit behind it. He's then got his nice large water bowl, which is partially on the heat mat. So his heat mat's under his tank here, which is regulated by his thermostat in the back. Can't see it because it's hiding in all his mesh. It runs through the back here. So his water bowl, his heat mat stops about here. So his water bowl stays warm. Monty does not like cold water at all. So that's Mont's hot side. He can also have a nice lounge in the sun there if he wants to. And then we've got Mont's cold side over here. So he's got his humid hide down here, which he's pulled all the moss out of again. Thanks, Mom. And then he also can sit up here and be cold and dry, because Mont doesn't always like being cold and moist. So Mont can be cold and moist, or cold and dry. And then over there he can be warm and dry and damp and dry, because those leaves get misted down, so they're usually quite damp. And his little bit of bark that he moves around his enclosure constantly. I don't know why. I had it propped up over there and he moved it. I had it up there and he moved it. I had it in front of this hide and he moved it. He likes it there. So let's grab the big boy out. We'll stand you guys on the top in a second. We'll grab him out and then we can talk about that little monkey. If I pop you up here, I can talk and grab him. Come on, baby. Hello, baby. Here he is. There's the big baby. Hello. You okay? You're a good boy. You're a good boy. So, this is obviously Monty. Monty is coming up to 5, I believe, in June. Sorry, guys, you've got the corner of Maria's tank in there. There we go. Yeah, so Monty's probably coming up to about 5 in June, I believe. I did have his birth certificate, but I lost it when I moved, so we don't have it anymore. But Monty is from the local pet shop in my town. I got him obviously about 4 and a bit years ago now. Tiny little 70-gram baby, aren't you? You little dinky boy. He obviously is now not a tiny 70-gram little baby. Monty's about 4.5 feet. I haven't weighed him recently because my pythons max out my scales at the moment, so that makes it a little bit difficult to weigh them, and you'll get me filthy, Mom. And if you can see as well, Monty has like a really bent tail. You're not going to show anyone, are you? No, you're going to come round. Come on then. Here we go. Yeah, you're a good boy. If you notice, he really doesn't hold on to me either. So, obviously where I've raised one, he's very used to me. He trusts me a lot. He doesn't really even hold on. Do you? Right, we're going to show people your stumpy tail. Right, you go on the back of it now. There we go. There we go. See where it's slightly bent? So, I brought him like this. He's always had this little crooked bit on his tail. Don't know what it's from. It was either birth defect, which could be just be a little kink in the end of his tail, or his tail was shut in a lid when he was a baby before I got him. I don't know. Doesn't do him any damage, does it, baby? Didn't bother you? When you were a baby, you used to get it caught when you shed, but apart from that, it's never had an issue. So, Monty Moo here is a bit of a finicky eater as well. Well, I say finicky. Monty eats in Monty's way. Monty's never fed really for me, not since he was about a year old. He's stopped strike feeding. I literally just have to lie the food down in front of him and he'll eat it when he can be bothered. The only problem we have with Monty is when feeding, if he smells me, he will quite happily climb up the tweezers to try and come out of his tank, because you're a bit of a melt. So when it comes to feeding Monty, it is a case of I shut the rat and I shut the door, because if we see too many people, we want to come out and not eat our dinner, which has been a problem before. Yes, this is Monty, my only male. He is a wild type, as you can tell. This is the pattern. You'll find them in the wild in South Africa. But yes, this is the baby. We're going to put the baby back so we can move on to... I'm probably going to do Maddie next because she's the easier one to deal with. I'm going to do Lilith last because I need to go through Lilith's aggression issues, because Lilith is quite a defensive snake, so that is going to be a little bit of an interesting one for me to do, because she doesn't always let me pick her up. So we'll do her last. I'm going to put this big boy back. Not that whoever wants to go back. Right, come on then, you. Should we show everybody how good you are at going back in your tank, shall we? Shall we? Just turn you around a minute, guys. Monty's going to show how much of a good boy he is, and he goes back all by himself. He's a good boy. And you can really appreciate it. Like, he has an iridescence to his black. He's a healthy boy. Look at you. He's so beautiful. And there's a little nubbin. A little nubbin. Pop you in them. Shut your doors. Say no night. No night. So, this is Maddie's setup. Big unit is about 4¼ feet long. I am trying to build her an upgrade at the moment. It is still long enough and deep enough that she can fully stretch out in it, but she's a big girl now, so I am looking to upgrade her into a 6 foot. Just got to work out how to build it, which is the next difficult thing. Right, let's grab the girly out. This might take a minute because that tank needs a bit of manoeuvring to get her out. And the snail fell off. Hello, baby girl. Good mood today? Good girl. Come here then. And this is the girly everyone knows. Here's Maddie Moo. So yeah, this is Maddie. As you can all see, Maddie is a very, very big girl now. She's also about 4½ years old. She'll be 5 in June, same as Mum. They're from the same breeder, not from the same clutch. Monty's clutch was a complete normal, whereas Maddie's was obviously spider. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the issues with the spider gene, because there are so many videos out there on YouTube right now just slating the gene or just explaining the genetic issues with it. I personally don't agree with breeding them. Maddie won't be bred. Even though, as you can all see, her balance is pretty impeccable. She doesn't really lose it too much, she doesn't corkscrew, she just slightly wobbles when she's trying to strike. But that, under no circumstances, means her babies wouldn't have the wobble. So we're just not going to worry with Maddie. She's in my care for the rest of her life. She wasn't in the best condition when I got her. She was very cage defensive. She was very dried out. She also had mites when I got her, so she had a trip to the vets because the mites had got all into her eyes, they were all in her mouth, they were everywhere. But yes, Maddie Moo is a beautiful gentle giant. It took me about a year to break her in until I can literally just go into a tank and hoof her out without an issue. Maddie eats medium rats probably every fortnight now. I have actually decided to start feeding her weekly, but I've dropped her down a size because while I'm feeding everyone else, she can smell it and she wants feeding. So last week she had a small and nearly took my arm off because she managed to strike out here in the tank. But we'll show you Maddie's tank in a minute, because Maddie's is a little bit different to Monty's. Maddie has got a big different personality to Mom. This girl loves to climb, she loves to swim. As you can see, she wants to climb on me, whereas Mom was just quite happy to loaf. So her tank is different. She's got a lot more height to her tank, as you can see. Her tank is a lot higher. Monty did used to be in this when he was a baby, but he fell a lot because he's not great. so I swapped him and Maddie over. Maddie has been in that tank for about 3 years now. So she was in that as a baby. I just made sure I bulked it out enough. When she was a baby, she had so much clutter in there, but now obviously she's big. I can't put as much clutter in. So we'll show you her setup while I put her back. So Maddie's set up. At the moment, she is not wanting to come off me. So we're going to film her while she's on me a minute. So Maddie's setup is obviously quite different to Monty's. She's got more height, she's got more climbing, she's got more water. Maddie has always had a bit of a thing for water. If I put a small dish in there, she'll sit in it and empty the water out of it. Her humidity is always fine. It's always running about 60%. I hire it when she's in sheds just to help her a little bit because she's had a tendency to struggle over the years getting her head off, but everything else comes off fine. So when she's in shed, I tend to boost her humidity up to about 65%. But she will still quite happily sit in that bath whether she's in shed or not. This girl loves water. So she's got her hot hide here. She can also get behind that water bowl, which creates her another hide. She's obviously got her big log in the middle, which she will stretch out of an evening. Usually she's sat across here at night, quite content. She's got her cold hide in here. She's also got a bit of a cold hide behind that underneath all the plants. She could also get behind that tree. And she will create like a den under here. When she kind of can't decide where she wants to go, she'll sort of bring all her moss out and creates a nest in the middle. So yes, that is Maddie Moo's tank. She also does have a light. Only in the winter does Maddie have a light, because when my heating is on, it tends to dry out in her tank where it's glass. So what I have found over the last 2 years, I think I've done this during the winter, I put a low watt heat bulb on above her water dish. It then causes the water slightly to evaporate. And then that obviously condenses on the glass, which creates her humidity. And I know her bowl looks manky, guys, but it's just limescale and I can't really get it off at the moment. And it's the only bowl that fits through this gap in her lid, so I am trying to get her a new one. But obviously she's having a new tank built, hopefully in a couple of months, so we shall see what that goes. But that is Maddie Moo's tank. She's been in there for 3 years now. That is my princess's domain. And I need to try and get her off me and back in tank, because we're not playing ball. What are we doing? But yeah, she's one hell of a strong snake. She's completely around my waist. Quite content. We need to put you back there, girl, because we need to do a little now, don't we? But yeah, Maddie's not overly head shy anymore either, which is great. She used to be really head shy. But we've been working on it, and you're not anymore. You're a good girl. Right, let's put you back then, Trouble. Yeah? Good girl. Her eyes, though, guys. I've always loved those eyes. That's why I got her. Even in the pet shop looking manky, his eyes caught me. And I fell in love with them there and then. And I still love them now. Right, let's put you back, Trouble. So there's a Maddie Moo back in her tank. Yeah, so Maddie's also from the same place as Monty, but they're from the same breeder, but separate clutches. Obviously, she's a spider. He was bred from just a normal male and female. She was not, obviously. Maddie will not be bred. No, we're not doing that. Right. Now let's deal with the devil. I will be back with you guys in a minute because I'm going to have to sort some stuff out to make this a little bit safer for me and her. So bear with. So this is Lilith. Lilith is about a 5 to 6 year old female ball python from my stepdad. Lilith's always had a bit of a moody personality. She's always bitten people from a very young age. I've been working with her for about 4 to 5 months now, and she's slowly improving, but she doesn't like being handled. As you can tell, she's not impressed right now. Lilith's setup is very simple at the moment until she's a little bit easier to deal with, because she will actually sneak up on you while you're trying to do maintenance in her tank. So she's got a hot hide here, which she's protecting right now. Some foliage so she can hide behind it. Big water bowl. She's got 2 hides down there. I'm not getting my fingers too close because she'll bite me. 2 hides down there, the circular one, and then the one led down creates a second. She's got her moss inside the tunnel. Obviously her heat mat's this side. In a minute, I think I am going to try and hoof her out because she does need to come out today. So I'm going to move the camera over there, so I've got 2 hands to deal with her, I reckon. I do want to show you, try and show you guys how I get her out. So I might have to do some fiddling in a minute. I'll be back with you in a minute. Right, I think this is the best view you guys are going to get, because she's really not impressed right now. So what I do, I let her sort herself out a minute. because she's wanting to turn around. Sort yourself out. Because I'm not taking your lid off while you're like that. Come on. It is a waiting game with Lilith. Right, sort yourself out, kid. Come on. You're sat in a really weird angle. Come on. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Good girl. Alright, once she's in a hide, we take the hide off. And we're going to move the plants. Good girl. Right, the trick with Lilith now is not to get bit, because this is the bit she doesn't like. So what I'm doing at the moment is I just let her realise what I'm doing. She'll sit there for a minute. Are we okay? Give her a little stroke so she knows I'm not food. And then we grab. Good girl. And then she'll start to go. And I won't take her too much further out of her enclosure because she really doesn't like it. And we just work with Lilith like this for a couple of minutes. And we always leave Lilith's handling on a good note. So I don't stress her out too much. Good girl. I don't like her coming up towards my fingers. Because she is unpredictable as hell. Come on. Good girl. That's better. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. Yeah, because she's naughty. Will lower you into a false sense of security. Come up to your fingers, being nice. And then bite you. That's what she did to me the first day I had her. Good girl. But she's not long. She's a very heavy body python. She is not overly long. She's probably got the biggest head out of all three of mine. She's being very well behaved, guys. Well done, Lil. Mummy's proud. Look at her pretty head. I'm going to put you back now. Yeah? Go back then. You want to go on the floor. No, you need to go back. There we go. Good girl. Let her go back by herself. Put the plant back. Good girl. There she goes. And that's all I do with Lilith at the moment. We don't do any massive picking up. I don't pick her up 3 feet off the ground. I don't aggravate her. It's all on Lilith's terms. Nobody else's. Good girl. There's a good girl. She did really well. Right, I'm going to flip you guys around now, guys. Really well, Lil. I'm proud of you, girlie. Hello. She is beautiful, which is a shame that she's so moody. But she's a stunning snake. I really don't want you doing that, though, Lil. Come on. This is the issue we don't have. Lilith doesn't want to go back. You need to go back. Because I can't just grab you and turn you around. Hello. You are a pretty lady. There we go. Jumpy lady. That proves how scary she is. I move back 2 inches and she jumps. Right, you need to come in now, girl. Right, I'm going to sort her out in a minute, guys. So, guys, that is my 3 ball pythons in my care. Obviously, Monty came first, then Maddie, then Lilith. But Lilith is the oldest out of the lot of them. So, as I said at the start, I was going to go through a couple of the mistakes I made when I first started keeping these pythons, so you guys don't have to. So, back when I first started keeping these, was obviously 4 years ago, the advice I was given was that they did best on aspirin or hemp, which I found doesn't work at all. Monty struggled with shedding with it. Maddie used to get it stuck in her teeth. So I now use just cocoa fibre with the pythons. They shed perfectly. They don't get it stuck in their mouth while they're eating. I was also given some horrific advice of housing my male and female together for the rest of their lives, which I didn't do. I did temporarily until my research sort of, improved and realised that wasn't a good idea. So they were separated. Snakes should not be kept together unless they are a communal species. Corn snakes, ball pythons, hognoses, my house snake, all of the animals I have in my collection are solitary animals and should not be kept together unless it is breeding time. It is too dangerous. Bloody heat mat come out. I'm going to have to fix that in a minute. Yeah, so I obviously made the mistake of putting them on aspirin. I do find cocoa fibre works best with a little bit of moss on the humid side just to hold humidity. Large water bowls with pythons are perfect. It is a myth they don't like water. Maddie is proof they love water. Lilith will happily go for a swim as well. Monte odd doesn't like it. But yes, in my personal opinion as well, ball pythons, Maddie size, should never be kept in a tub. I can't justify keeping her in a tub. I can't find a tub bigger than that, for starters. If you're going to get a ball python, you need to be aware that they do get big. Yes, they're beautiful and cute when you first get them. They're the tiny little, like, 2-foot snakes that weigh all of about 100 grams. Maddie's now nearly 5.5 feet long and 3 kilos. She's a big, powerful snake, and she's got a long way to go. And it breaks my heart when people buy these animals as small babies. It gets a couple of years old, it gets too big, and they get rid of them. Pythons are a long commitment, and I thought about it for a very long time before I even got Monty in my collection, because I only had the tarantulas to start with. Sorry guys, I do really need my relentless. I am dying this morning. Oh. But yeah, pythons do live quite a long time, so they can live between 30 to 40 years, so they are not something you want to rush into. You do want to think about this before you even think about it, because if you're, say, 18 and thinking about going to university, you've got to take that with you. Or, in my sister's case, leave her corn snake with me. Thanks, Izzy. But she's going to uni, so, you know, I'm proud of her. So, ball pythons are one of the most popular constrictors in the pet trade. They're also one of the most popular snakes in the pet trade at the moment because of their docile nature. You can get some insane morphs on them now, but be careful what morphs you're getting. I do find you start layering too many morphs, you do start to get genetic issues. Obviously, genetic issue number 1, spider python. They are a constricting species, so they kill their prey by suffocation or highering the blood pressure, which is now what scientists do believe. They are from sub-Sahara sort of Africa way, so they do like a kind of high humidity. They don't like it too dry at all. They are the smallest African python though, which some people will find a bit shocking, but the African rock python gets a lot bigger than the ball python does. Feeding for ball pythons. Quite a few people will overfeed their adult ball python because they think, oh, it needs feeding every week. No, most of the time they don't, unless you are breeding, and then your female will need the extra weight. My guys eat, at the moment, Monty eats a small rat weekly, sorry, but as soon as he goes up to a medium rat, he'll go fortnightly. Maddie goes fortnightly unless she's being aggy. Where Maddie's been in the routine of eating every Sunday for the last 4 years, when everybody else gets fed on a Sunday, she wants feeding too. So I am sort of playing with Maddie's diet a little bit to just sort of try and get it right for her, because obviously she's not really growing anymore, and you don't want to overfeed your snake, you will shorten its lifespan dramatically. Anything else I need to cover for pythons? I don't think so. No, I think that is the baseline for pythons. Obviously, every snake is different. Monty is a big dope that wants cuddles. Maddie wants to climb on you and be in your face. Lilith wants to bite your face. And each snake is an individual and will need individual needs. I find Monty doesn't really enjoy climbing too much. He prefers his tunnels and his caves, whereas Maddie really likes to climb. Lilith just likes to smash stuff up. She's broken 3 or 4 hides. She breaks cork bark. She's quite a heavy-bodied snake, and she rips plants apart. So that's always fun. But yes, guys, thank you for tuning in. Drop some comments down below of what you want to see next week. I'm either thinking doing like a snail tutorial, because I know you guys are really interested in my lunatic snails over there. It's a bit of a mess right now, guys, because I had to move them out of the way of Lilith. Or do you want me to go through like my corn snake care, the geckos? I've still got the geckos, guys, but they are upstairs because there's no room down here at the moment. Obviously, we've got all the tarantulas we can go through. We've got the scorpions, because I've got 2 in my care at the moment, but one of them I'm not keeping. It's going to my stepdad. Sorry, Mum. But yes, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Sorry it was late this week. Sorry it's been a bit long-winded as well. I tend to rabble on. But yes, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for supporting me. Drop a thumbs up if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe and whack that notification bell on so you know when I upload a video, because apparently I can't stick to a schedule. But anyway, guys, have an amazing weekend, and remember, smile is contagious. Take care, guys.